Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Turtle Wins the Race Home-Based Business Podcast. I'm Kara Buntin. I've owned a home-based business since 1999, and I sell on Etsy and my website and Go Imagine now. So I have multiple places where I sell online. And today I want to talk about how we are manipulated to buy things and how we manipulate other people to buy things. And this is the book that you should get. Okay. And I've referred this book to people before. I've recommended this. This is a marketing manual, and Robert Cialdini is he's a behavioral economist, and he is, I believe, at the University of Chicago, where he was. If you listen to the Freakonomics podcast, he's on there relatively frequently, and they refer to his work because this is kind of the seminal book that marketers use. It was not meant as a marketing guide. It was not meant as a marketing manual to sell to people, but it's about the psychology of persuasion, and a lot of the stuff in it does completely directly affect marketing and ways that we persuade people to buy from us. And a little bit, a lot of it can be kind of sleazy. So you have to decide for yourself what you are willing to do and what you won't do. And I will refer to my eShop Success program is the main class that I teach. And I have a sales page that was set up when I was in a marketing, it's a class about how to make a class, right? How to set up a sales page, how to do that kind of stuff. I set it up exactly the way that they said to. And I'm like, I don't like this because it's manipulative, and it felt manipulative to me. But that's what every webinar sales page is. I'm sure that we've seen this. Everyone has seen a webinar sales page that you're reading and you're like, oh God, I don't know. But it makes you want to buy the class. I have fallen victim to this. Okay. I have classes on all kinds of things that I will never use. I have no need for, but they look like so much fun. And the one that I was thinking of one is, there's a few in my inbox that I'm just like probably never going to look at. Surface pattern design. Okay, now I actually would use that. Surface pattern design is like making fabric designs. It's a pattern that's repeatable, and you can put it on things like journals or mugs or cloth. I don't do that. I don't design patterns. I'm not a designer, but it looked like so much fun. And I saw this class and I saw it advertised, and I was like, okay. And it must not have been too expensive because I'm cheap. But you justify things to yourself, right? You buy for emotion, and then you justify it with, you rationalize everything. And there are certain things that people do when they're selling classes that make you want to buy that thing right now. And someone in the YouTube comments of a different video said, I should do a video about this because I think it is interesting. And it's something that we need to know about as we sell to other people. But it's also something to know for yourself so that you can protect yourself from this kind of stuff. And when he wrote this book, he said, I meant for this to be like a self-protection manual. I did not mean for this to be a marketing guide. But of course, the marketers jump on it and ruin it. So it's kind of a marketing guide now. But we do need to know this kind of stuff to protect ourselves and also to use on other people, right? Okay, so I would mention again my class. If you go over, I'll put the link. If you go to the sales page of my class, I have rewritten it. I took a bunch of stuff out because it just felt too salesy to me personally. And you can't just sign up for my class. I have to screen you in because some people are not a good fit. Let me just say right now, if you have 3 businesses and you wholesale and you have 50 employees, you do not need my class. Okay. And I've had somebody recently who had a business that size, and I'm like, you really don't need my class. It's not a good fit. So, I don't know why you're looking at it, but you really don't need it. So I don't let everybody in because it might not be anything that you need, but the sales page I've deliberately left mostly intact so that I could use it as an example. Okay. So I'll put the link to that. You can go look at it if you want to. If not, just look at the sales page for any webinar that comes up on Facebook, except be careful for that because you'll be shown those ads for the rest of your life. But yeah, it's a formula. The sales page for webinars and classes is a formula. So let's talk about that a little bit. Now, I have found this. I was going through my folders of like class material and stuff. And this one, it said eShop. And I don't look at these folders. I'm the kind of person Tell me if you are in the comments, because I bet a lot of you are like that. I take lots of notes and then I put them in an important notebook and I never look at them again. Okay. So I do have important notebooks, and I did find this article about how to lure people into your trap. And that's not the title of the article, but I did find it, and it was from a webinar that I took a long time ago. So I don't feel, and none of this is secret. So I don't feel bad sharing this information, even though it was from a paid webinar. It was this is very basic. But the idea is that you want to get someone into your fold, into your community, call it, right? That's the term people use now. And it's a funnel. These are the funnel people. You have to watch out for the funnel people. Okay, so the funnel people, basically the idea of a sales funnel or a marketing funnel, and you can Google that, read about it, is you want to get a lot of people in to the top of the funnel. And, like a funnel is shaped like this. Okay, so at the top of the funnel is everybody who comes in and sees your ad or clicks on the ad or reads the ad or signs up for your webinar. Out of those people, some of them will get, I think usually now you have to sign up for an email, right? Don't you have to give your email to get the webinar? So you get the people who see the ad. Under that is the people who actually sign up for the ad, and that's a smaller number, okay? Then you're going to get the people who actually watch some of the webinar, and then you get the people who actually watch all of the webinar, and you're getting smaller now. It's getting to the bottom of the funnel. At the bottom of the funnel is the people who actually buy the class. Somewhere in between there is the concept that maybe the people who are about to buy it, but they're not quite sure, they just need that little push over the edge, right? And psychologically, the push over the edge is, people call this different things. In this article, it's called a tripwire offer. It's called, I've heard it called like a low value offer. There's all kinds of words for it, but it's basically something that you offer people that solves one specific problem. So it's like a one specific thing. And it's low cost. It's $9, it's $7. And you want people to buy that because, number one, it's so cheap. Why not? Like I'm thinking about buying this class, but it's expensive. I'll buy this other one instead. I'll buy this $9 thing instead and see how it is, right? So you want it to be something good. You don't want it to be junk. And the other thing that they do is they'll say, this is worth $195, but because you watched this webinar, I'll give it to you for $19 only today. So now we have a full priced item that's slashed out. So you think you're saving something. No, you're not. You're spending something. And who's to say what that thing is worth, right? I've seen a lot of these classes say, oh, this is a X value, like it's valued at this much. I'm like, who says that? I don't know. Because I've seen what's in that content and it's not that valuable. Anyway, but they slash the price. That psychologically is like, I'm saving something. It's a low cost, so you're not going to be out too much if it turns out not to be great. So you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to lose too much. It's kind of a risk-reward thing. And you do want it to be a good product, but you have to present it that way, that they're getting a bargain, and it's very short term. You need to decide now because you're not going to have it. You're going to miss out. And that's where the fear of missing out comes in. It's scarcity. Scarcity is huge. Okay, scarcity is a huge thing where people think that if they don't act now, they're going to miss out. We have acronym. FOMO is an acronym, fear of missing out. Just the fact that there's some kind of a stupid acronym like that, it's a big thing, right? And that's why Etsy puts, only 3 left, or sale ends in 2 hours. That's an urgency thing. You want to do urgency, which is the timer. You'll see the timer on webinar pages. You'll see, limited time pricing, only 3 left. You'll see all these kinds of things. And when you start paying attention to it, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So just watch for it. Watch commercials. I watch commercials with an incredibly annoyingly kind of analytical eye. And I'm constantly critiquing commercials. I'm probably very annoying to live with. That's my husband's problem. But I'll watch a commercial and say, did you see what they did? And he'll be like, what? And I'll tell him whether he likes it or not. But it's very interesting when you know that this stuff is what they're doing, that you see it everywhere. And it's because it works. It pushes people to make that decision to buy now as opposed to thinking about it. You don't want people to think about it. You want them just to buy it, okay? And the reason that you do that that low priced offer, it isn't just to give them a good value of solving one problem at a low price. It's because psychologically, when you buy something from someone, you're not just a person in a business. Now you're their customer, right? I'm a customer of this person. And what happens in your brain is that your brain says, okay, I invested money in this thing, so it must be good. Okay. And like I said before, you buy with emotion and then you rationalize it. You justify it with rational explanations to yourself. So I bought this $9 thing, but it was a great value. I was going to miss out on it. It's helping me with this one problem. And it's so generous of that person to give me this thing for $9, right? So when you buy something from someone, you become their customer, and it's a different relationship. And that's what you're trying to do with these offers. That's what they're trying to do. Because if someone is right on the precipice of buying and they're not quite sure, if you throw one of those offers at them and it has all the right targets, like the slash price, and it's a low cost and it's a limited time, if they buy it, then you've just made them into a customer. And they're much, much, much more likely to come back and buy something else from you. And that's been proven multiple times. The percentage that they say here, it says it's 60 to 70% is the probability of selling to an existing customer. I don't know if, percentage wise, I don't know how they calculate that, but everybody knows it's a lot easier to sell to someone who has bought from you before and who has had a good experience, because you don't have to prove yourself to them. And that low cost offer in those webinars is to get you into their customer base so that you can see that their product is decent. And you know what? I've bought things before and they sucked. And that's, lead magnet. That's what they're calling it now. They used to call it something else. Now they're calling it a lead magnet. Okay. And I think they used to call it that too. But a lead magnet is basically a low priced offer, or it could be something that's free. You can give away free PDFs. You can give away a free pattern. And that's something that people do for email lists, like sign up for my email list and you'll get this free download. It's not as common for product businesses because mostly people want a discount for those. But if you do patterns and you sell patterns, you could say, sign up for my email list and you'll get this exclusive pattern that I just give to my email list and you'll get it for free. And that's a lead magnet because it's attracting leads, which are people who you can sell to. So it's a lead magnet. Okay, so Tripwire's lead magnets, loss leaders. Loss leaders are groceries, like in the grocery stores, they do that. There's a lot of ways that you get people in to buy your products, and then they become a customer in their heads, and then it's much easier to sell to them later. Okay, let's see. FOMO. I just want to go through this list really quick. Here's a picture of the funnel. Just look up marketing funnel, and there'll be lots of articles about it. It says, why create this type of offer? It turns your leads into customers fast, which means they're likely to come back and buy something else from you. It can cover the cost of your expenses. Now, this is something else. This is another reason why these people do this, is because if you're going to run $1,000 worth of Facebook ads, the real value is getting that person on your email list, because then you can sell to them again, right? And if that $9 ends up covering the cost of your Facebook ads, you're basically buying email leads. You're buying email subscribers, and you're not spending money, because if that lead magnet covers the cost of your ads, then you've gotten the emails, you can sell to those people, and your ads are paid for. And I've talked to people who do thousands of dollars with Facebook ads, and their rationale for it, and most of them are selling classes, they're not selling products, because that's a different situation. But their rationale for it is that if they make $1,000 in sales from the Facebook ads, and it's a digital product, they're not really having to make anything because it's there anyway, then their costs are covered and they have that email. They have the email on their list, that person is signed up, and now they can sell something else to them. So that's how that works. So just be aware of this. They don't care if you watch the webinar, they want your email address, because that's where the value is. And if you give someone your email address, you kind of have taken a step toward being that customer, right? So even if somebody signs up for your email list and they don't buy anything from you now, that's okay, because you can still market to them and they might buy something down the road. That's the thought process. it says it develops the know, like, and trust. People have to know who you are. They have to like you and they have to trust you before they buy from you. Okay. And this says it can cover the cost of your ad spend because this is huge because it means you can limitlessly scale. Okay. So you can add, if you run $10,000 in ads and you get $10,000 in return from that $9 product, you can run 10,000 more and you're not out any money, and you've probably sold some other stuff in the process. Okay. Most of this is for the webinar stuff. I would be really careful if you're thinking about doing this kind of thing for products, because you have to make the product. So there's a cost to that. So that's a different type of thing. But just understand the concept, because getting people on your email list is the ultimate goal, basically. Okay. The next section on here, it says it works like this. Then it says blah, blah, blah. Then it says lure them to your email list with a freebie. Okay. So you lure them. And that's what I'm saying. It's to get people on their email list. Lure them to your email list with a freebie. And then immediately after they sign up for your freebie, send them to the lead magnet tripwire that's cheap. Okay. So basically, people get you on their list by having you sign up for their webinar. And that's free. It's a free webinar. You're going to learn this thing. Once you're on the email list, they will send you the offers. Okay, the webinar is the freebie. The offers are the low price offers, or they just try to sell you the class, And it's very predictable. It's very typical. It happens all the time. And it's just something that we need to be aware of. And if you sell classes, this is something that you should be doing, because this is how people sell classes, right? And the reason that it works is because it works. It just works. It's the human brain. It just works. People don't want to miss out. They trust other people's opinions. So the comments and the suggestions under a class, and there's all kinds of other tricks. I'm not going to get into it now, but just be aware that it works. People do it because it works, basically. Now, I'm just going to go down this really quick. Let's see. It needs to make sense. The pricing. Okay, now this is the psychology of pricing. This is interesting. It says it should be discounted from something much higher. So that's the price with the slash through it. Okay, and it says keep it $9 to $19. Keep in mind the psychology of pricing. Don't choose $11 because that's more like 10. That's more than 10. Okay, so $9 is less than 10. It says to make more money, consider adding an order bump, which is, like when you buy one thing and it says, wait, don't you want to add this to your cart? That's an order bump. That's an upsell. And it says, remember, the goal isn't to make money. It's to get a quick new customer. Okay, so when you're doing your own type of marketing, and you know what you could do, and I hate to do this, to tell you to do this, because like I said, if you click on one of these ads, you're going to get tons of them. Watch a few of these webinars. Go to an industry that you have absolutely no interest in, and watch how they sell. And you'll learn a lot just keeping those things in mind, keeping the things that I just talked about in mind. You will learn a lot about how to sell to people effectively to get them to move to the next step. Because basically everything that you're doing when you're selling is to get people to trust you to move to the next step. And the final step is to hit buy. It's to put that buy button and get the sale, right? But this has more stuff in it about the timer and the deadline and that kind of stuff. And it works because people don't want to miss out, and it's effective because it just takes advantage of people's fear of not being in the know. That's one other thing that they do. Just every time you hear this phrase now, you're going to remember this, that when you're being sold a class, they will talk about being on the inside. Okay. They'll say at the end, if you're interested in joining our community, here's the link. I'll see you on the inside. Okay. Because that means that if you don't buy it, you're on the outside, and nobody wants to be on the outside. Everybody wants to be on the inside. You want to know what's going on. You want to be part of the cool kids. And it's just something that you need to be aware of. I don't know, for product sellers, there are things like when you get people to sign up for your email list, this is probably very applicable, As far as selling products, there are things that you can do in your descriptions and your titles to make things more appealing to your customer base, but you have to understand your customers. And it's not 100% transferable, everything that you do to sell classes, to sell to people, physical products, but there is a lot of overlap. And if, have you been the victim of a funnel? Have you ever been funnelated where it gets you worked up? You see that timer, you're like, I only have 3 more hours. I need to make this decision fast. And then you buy it. And when I used to launch my class when it was only open for 7 days, I would see a lot of sales right at the beginning because those are the people that knew they wanted to buy it. You open the class for sales. A lot of people will buy it right away. Then it dips. And then the last day when you start sending out those emails that say only 3 hours left, only 6 hours left, 1 day left, that's when people buy because they've been thinking about it and thinking about it. They're not sure. But as soon as you hit them with that scarcity and that you're going to be left out, that's the message that makes people who are not sure want to buy it now. It works. That's why people do it. You don't have to do it, but you need to be aware of it and watch out when it's being done to you. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you've been funnelated before, and I will talk to you next week.